Welcome back to InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Mary Louise Van Atta.
And here with us today is Debbie Lute. She is the Executive Director of Connections 365, which is a group which, how better to put it, walks alongside at-risk youth and adults right here in Marion and Polk County. Thank you for joining us today. I have wanted you on this program for a long time, Mary Louise.
Yes.
Thank you so much for arranging this, because I've heard of the work you do, but you're here to tell us all about it.
I am. So we have been a nonprofit for about 30 years.
30 years?
And we're located out South Salem. And the foundation of the organization was to help at-risk youth. The founders would drive around the city of Salem and see youth on the streets and decided to figure out how to reach out and capture them in a way that would give them a future or a hope. And so we do treatment foster care, homes in the community. We have 7 homes currently. We also do residential treatment for kids, boys. And that program, there's 2 different programs. One is to help them not end up in a closed facility at McLaren.
Right.
And the other program is to step them down from McLaren and out into a community setting. And so we recently had a young man that went to Job Corps. We had 2 young men that graduated high school and one that's in college. It's been very successful. And then we have mentoring services. We want to wrap around these kids and give them all the support they need. And so we try to do a one-on-one. And we know, even by research, that one positive adult can change the trajectory of a kid's life. That's all it takes. And so we have mentors, which I love that part. And also we do mental health counseling. And so we not only serve the kids that we have, but anybody in the community that is on the Oregon Health Plan, they can come to us, and we have counselors and one bilingual, and just trying to meet. Our goal is to see what the need is within the community and how we might meet those needs.
Oh, and the need must be great.
Yeah, we turn away clients because there's just not enough mental health services. So we work toward enlarging and growing and helping. But I think my favorite part of the organization, besides helping people, is the property at large. We have 10 acres. We have a mentor room that has a little mini theater in it, and they can do arts and crafts. We have a recreation room that we're currently working toward finishing. We have a community garden with 10 beautiful beds, and we grow, and we have Corbin students come out. We had a group of Corbin students last year that came from another country, and their response was that it felt like home, because that's what they do in their own country, is make produce and work the land. And so great collaboration with other community partners. Oregon Food Share will take some of our stuff and donate it that direction. And just the fact that there's 10 acres, we have a walking path, and looking to try to build a basketball court for these youth. And
I imagine if your life had been kind of chaotic or constantly insecure or changing, having a really comforting place
and
like
no
that sounds
family
lovely.
support, no infrastructure support, nothing, just nothing.
Right. So a lot of what they say is it's kind of a time to almost step back from their life, set some goals for their life, and find a place where it's consistent enough and structured enough that they can find kind of their way through. My story says that these kids were caught in a thicket. And if you go hunting, there's thickets, and then you come into the clearing. And our goal is to get them into the clearing so they can see a life. And sometimes you got to cut away that tall, rough brush, and so they can actually find a place from which they can see actually a future. They don't believe in themselves. They don't even know if there is such a thing as a future.
Right.
So that really excites me about what we do. It's how I visualize it.
So you take them from a place where they're really lost in the thicket to the clearing. And I love the metaphor. That's a great way of putting it. And where they actually see, wait a minute, I might actually have a future. What then? What then? Do you direct them? Do you follow them in life? What do you do?
We're an intervention, and so we are intended to be point A to point B.
Right.
We're not intended to be the future, but we have kids that write us back, that come back to visit, pop in. But most commonly, our goal is to reunify with family, if they have family. So a lot of the corrections youth do have family, and they're able to patch that up and heal that up. The Department of Human Services kids typically don't have identified family, and so we're looking for the next home, the home that we can match them with, that's just a step down into regular foster care life, where they don't have such structure, And hopefully that is, they're stepping down into lower care, not up into like residential or subacute
Right.
or more hospitalization. So stabilizing them, getting them to believe they do have hope, that would be a sense of accomplishment. You can do it.
So I
And-
imagine finding families must be a challenge in
Yeah.
your system.
That's a big challenge.
How does that work?
Well, we get referred. There's a thing called Foster Plus. It's a statewide movement, and we're part of that. And so there'll be people that inquire, and then they get directed to appropriate agencies that seem like a fit for them. We do have that Christian Community Placement Center history, so a lot of times a family wants to find an organization that they fit with in a lot of ways. But then we do roughly 28 hours of training. We're very intensive on the training. It is treatment, foster care. I like to call it therapeutic. That word just seems really peaceful
Right.
and soft to me. And so they get trained. We have 24/7 on-call, but we need homes. They're shipping kids out of state right now, the Department
So
of Human-
kids that are maybe centered and came from Oregon have to go out of state to find care because we don't have enough
We don't have
families.
enough capacity. These are great kids. They've just had a rough past and need really wraparound support that believes in them. So we're looking for positives in the midst
Right.
of the negatives and building upon that.
So it sounds like the families probably learn as much as the
Yeah.
kids do.
I've learned as much
Yeah.
as the kids. You know, it's challenging to change how we treat one another.
Fantastic.
And I love that.
So what does Connections 365 need? Do you need volunteers? Do you need what how can people help?
I think we do have to hire and train and do background checks and fingerprints for most things. We have 10 acres of property and spring is coming. We need mowers, we need weeders, we need people that plant the garden, water the garden,
Right.
just tend to some of those things. The paint, we have property that needs painting. So we definitely need on-site help, and in the midst of that, they'll meet the kids, they'll see the kids, they'll get to know the kids at some level. We like to put the kids with our volunteers if we can, and that's a big one, really, is just the maintenance of the environment and keeping it, you know, we believe the buzzword's trauma-informed care, but really I look at it as care. Do these kids know that we care? And our property says, they care. They made me a walking path. They let me plant a garden. They let me make jam out of my garden, you know?
And have pride and keep things clean and have it really be a nice place to be.
And it's a lot of work. We
Yeah.
have 4 buildings and 10 acres, and we want them to know that this isn't a second thought.
Right.
This
And I know
is
you're
the
also
priority.
a nonprofit, so you accept donations.
Accept
not only
donations.
donations of money, but donations of items. Is that right?
Correct.
For these
And so we have
young people?
a part-time marketing person, and so they kind of have a list of the things we need. And we don't get paid enough to like give them, send them to the gym or prom or all the youth activities. So we're always looking for partnering someone's funds with that kind of music lessons.
Sure.
And so yes,
There are many
donations,
ways people
yeah.
can help.
Yeah.
And we need staff. We need residential staff. We need some mentors. And so we're always looking for
Fantastic.
workers.
So
Is
people
all of
can
this information available through your website?
Most of it.
What
I
is
mean,
your
we're
website?
working on that. So we're connections365.org. And you can go out there. There should be different bullet points, ways to contact, do an email, and identify some faces. You could call our office at 503-588-5647. And I'm at extension 308,
Okay.
but you can get to me. And so, yes, I'd love to hear. We love to do tours, walkthroughs, just get to know us.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful property. I've been out there.
Oh,
Yeah.
so appreciate your coming in
Well,
today.
thank you
and
for having me.
Wish we had more time.
Yeah, will you
yeah.
come back and visit with us again?
I will come back.
Super.
I'd love
All
it.
right.
Great.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today on InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Mary Louise Venata, and we'll see you next time.